All right, so for the rest of the course, we will see a brief art history. So this is the first chapter we are going to see, the prehistoric and ancient Mediterranean world. So let's see the beginning of the art history. In 1 second. Good afternoon.
Hello, Professor. Good afternoon.
All right. So Mediterranean Sea, where the story of Western art begins, and it is surrounding Africa and near East and Europe, and beginning around 3000 BCE, numerous ancient civilizations arose, overlapped, and interacted. They learned from one another and conquered each other, and they transformed into the world. So this is a female figure sculpture 25,000 years ago. So it was found near Willendorf, a town in present-day Austria, and it is small enough to fit comfortably in the palm of hand, and it has detailed hairstyle that covers the entire head. The body's proportions are exaggerated, and scholars long assume that they were fertility figures used in some symbolic way to encourage pregnancy and childbirth. And this is a daily life of the Neolithic period in the rock paintings of the Tassili Nezer region of Algeria in northern Africa. So today, Tassili Nezer is part of Sahara, the world's largest desert. 1 second. Good morning. Good afternoon. All right. So we can assume at that time, the desert had not yet emerged. So the region as a vast grassland, home to animals, plants, and the people we see depicted here. The figure depicts the essence of human and animal bodies in actively posed, stylized silhouettes. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi.
Sorry for delay.
It's okay.
Thank you.
All right. So now we see the Mediterranean world. So today we are going to see two big art threads of Mediterranean world. So the first one is Mesopotamia, and the next one is Egypt. So let me show you ancient Mediterranean world's timeline first. So the female figure we just saw is about 23,000 BCE. And the rock painting in Northern Africa is about 5,000 BCE. And Mesopotamia arose about 2,000 years before the century. And this area of Mesopotamia was highly desirable, so many empires were built and disappeared. So such as Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, and Assyrian, and Babylon again. On the other hand, Egypt was continued as one empire for 1700 years, and it was parallel with the Mesopotamia's time period. So let's see Mesopotamia first. So the region known to the ancient world as Mesopotamia occupied a large area roughly equivalent to the present-day nation of Iraq. Fertile soil watered by the Tigris River and Euphrates rivers here made Mesopotamia highly desirable, but a lack of natural boundaries made it easy to invade and difficult to defend. And there are 5 one city states and 4 empires in Mesopotamia. So the first, the Sumer, the city states, and the first empire was by Akkadian, was about here. And the next one is the second empire was by Babylon. And the third empire of Mesopotamia was built by Assyrian. Oops, sorry. And the last empire was by Babylonian again. So let's see one by one. The first cities of Mesopotamia arose in the southern area, a region called Sumer, about 3400 BCE. And the Sumerian were the first people to leave behind them not just artifacts, but also words. And lacking stone, the Sumerian built their cities of sun-dried brick using the load-bearing construction technique. And they had the refined and luxurious aspects of art. And by 2300 BCE, the Sumerian city-states had been conquered by their neighbors to the north and the Akkadians. So under ruler Sargon I, the Akkadians established the region's first empire. And Sargon I's grandson Naram-Sin commemorated his victory over the Lullaby people of eastern Mesopotamia with monumental stele of King Naram-Sin. This is it. It pictures the Akkadian king dressed in gold-like regalia, it's here, and striding confidently over the defeated soldiers. And the second empire was by Babylonian. So Amorites, who consolidated their rule over the region and established a capital at Babylon. The most important legacy of the Babylonian Empire is not artistic, but legal. A set of ethics and laws complied under the ruler Hammurabi. Known as Hammurabi's Code, it is the only complete legal code to survive from the ancient world. And it has provided historians with valuable insight into the structure and concerns of Mesopotamian society. And the third empire was by Assyrians. Assyrians had been gathering power and territory since before 1100 BCE, and their military strength increased significantly under Ashurnasirpal II. It was the largest empire the region had seen by that time. Ashurnasirpal's palace had gates fronted by monumental stone slabs, this curved into enormous human-headed winged beasts, a bull and a lion. And the fourth empire was Babylonian again. So Babylonians again came to power in Mesopotamia in the late 7th century BCE, and they formed a kingdom now called the Neo-Babylonian. These New Babylonians truly must be ranked among the great architects of the ancient world. They developed a true arch like this, beautiful arch, before the Romans did, and they were masters of decorative design for architecture. Very beautiful architecture. So now let's see the Egypt. So the kingdom of Egypt was protected by rocky, unnavigable stretches of the Nile River. So here's Egypt, and here's Nile River. So Nile River is protected the east side, and there was a vast desert on the left side of the Egypt. So the Egypt was surrounding with the natural boundaries. That's why they can keep their own culture and society for a long time. So the Greek philosopher Plato wrote that Egyptian art did not change for 10,000 years. Everyone knows this, right? What's this? Nobody knows this? Really?
A pyramid.
Yeah, there is a pyramid and Sphinx, right? So the
I
Sphinx.
never knew the name of that, but I always seen it like in cartoons.
Yeah, I got it.
I've
Yeah,
seen it in cartoons,
yeah,
movies. I never
that's
knew the name of it.
right. But it looks very familiar, even though you don't know the name, the exact name, right? Yes,
Yeah.
everyone knows, this picture. Oh, that's the Egypt, right? Like that. So looks a little bit more familiar, the Egypt things, right? Compared to the Mesopotamian art. The Sphinx is the symbol of the Egyptian art. This is the Sphinx. So it is essence of stability, order, and endurance. It faces the rising sun and seeming to cast its immovable gaze down the centuries for all eternity. The Sphinx has the body of a recycling lion and the head of a man, and thought to be the pharaoh Khafre, whose the pyramid tomb is in the center. It's like just guardians. All right. So this is Narmer's pose. We saw this palette before. So Narmer's pose is typical of Egyptian art. So the big guy is Narmer. So when depicting an important personage, the Egyptian artist strove to show each part of the body to best advantage so that it could be read clearly by the viewer. So Narmer's body is seen in profile, and his torso is full front, and his head in profile again, but his eye is front again. So this same pose recurs throughout most two-dimensional art in Egypt. An Egyptian buries their most lavish art in royal tombs. Rulers were sent into eternity outfitted with everything they would need to continue life in the sumptuous style they had known on earth, such as furniture, jewelry, chariots, clothing, and artifacts of all kinds. So we are going to continue to see the rest part of the prehistory and ancient Mediterranean world in the next class. There will be Greece and Rome. And we're gonna see other slides for the sketchbook project. So today we have a sketchbook project as morphing. Have you ever heard about morphing? Does anyone knows morphing?
Morphing
Yes.
is when you mix two different types of, like, let's say animals or like an object. For
Yes,
example, the Sphinx, it's like a mix of a cat and a person.
that's right. Perfect. That's right. So this is it.
What the?
So morphing is a special effect in motion pictures and animations that changes or morphs one image or shape into another through a seamless transition. It looks like a very contemporary technique. However, morphing art had been tried by ancient artists like this Assyrian sculpture. So it has enormous human-headed winged beast, a bull, and a lion. And here's another example. So they have wild beast head here, and the human body and bird's feet. Very interesting morphing. And here is another example. It looks very aggressive morphing. So the left beast has a bird wing and bird's feather and bird feet. And this is a Greek sculpture. Look at the left figure, the center. So it is a half human and half horse. It can be a part of, morphing. So now, back to the 21st century, there are lots of fun morphing images. So I will show you. So it's a morphing with an elephant and an octopus. Very interesting image. Looks very natural. And this, morphing with a frog and an orange. And a human and a bird wing. And turtle and island on the top of the turtle. Very interesting. And a figure and seizures. Oh, I love this. A beetle and a cello. Looks very natural. All right, so you will need a sketchbook, pencil, eraser, and any color medium you have for this project. And there are 4 categories like figure, animal, object, and nature. And please choose at least 2 categories and morph them. So for example, you can choose a figure and a horse among animals for morphing drawing. And as usual, please post the process of your morphing drawing work with description and reply to your peers by tomorrow. So let me share more examples. So this is a morphing drawing with an alligator and a high heel. Very creative. And a cat with a snake. And a scorpion and a part of machine. An ant and measuring spoons. And morphing with a girl and a wolf. So that's it. So you can do it color or black and white, doesn't matter. I can wait to see your creative morphing drawing. Do you have any question about this project?
Do we
No.
have until Thursday?
Yes, please post your process. No, today. Not today and not Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. So post your artwork process by tonight, and please reply to your peers by tomorrow. And so this is week 9, and there's no video you have to watch, so you can just skip this page. And this is a lecture slides, and here sketchbook 9.1 due date is tonight. And please post your artwork process here. And if you didn't check your midterm grade yet, please check your grade and let me know if you have any question about your score. Any questions?
No, Professor.
No. All right, so the class is over. So please, work with your morphing drawing and, please make it very creative. There are lots of examples on the internet, so search it, but please do not copy it, okay? Just to get some inspiration. All right, so if you don't have any other question, you can leave now. Have a great night.
Professor, good night.
Thank you,
Bye.
Professor.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Bye. Bye.